There were times she can be your little immortal waifu. There were times she can be your One-chan waifu, or even times she can be mommy waifu. But you guys know there were times she can be a male with a dicky more than 12 inches long than yours. She is Cutie Honey. Nah, just kidding. Alright, welcome back and goodie guys, as you guys have seen the opening, and this is our next LLR characters. The original form is known as Fairyquest, the evil for Heavenly King, assisting Bozo in his failing quest to overthrow the Langrisser heroes, and she has been transformed or reincarnated as this new form known as the Gay Succubus. And yep, they kind of apparently changed her class from the 1,000 shape-shifting tricksters or princess to, well, they classify her as the succubus with many eyes gazing at you. So yeah, and what you're looking at right now, even better and good news than you guys, is this current art you're looking at right now. It's apparently a censored art. The dark part around her chest to, well, almost private areas are apparently an add-on censorship to cover up her body. When you guys look at the actual demo plays, you are really in for a treat, and you guys will definitely be calling her mommy. Or of course, if you like men with or you like girls with these, well, you can call her daddy too. And taking this joke from Crayon's Chin-chan. Oh, good night. So right, the usual stuff. The video will be split into 3 parts. Part 1 will be going through on introduction of the characters, some background stories. Part 2 will be going through on the actual character skills, and last but not least, part 3 we're gonna go with the pros and cons of the character skills, talents, ability, and etc. So right, enough of all the jokes at the start. So yep, in case you guys are wondering, yes, those are just jokes, so do not take it too seriously. And now back on the right track. Are you guys ready? Here we go. So before I carry on, a very great thanks for information shared and provided by the Langrisser mobile app, Soyu. And we welcome our latest entry of the LLR heroine, the Gay Succubus, aka Fairyquest 2.0. Oops, and definitely before we go on, we definitely gotta appreciate the art. And like I said, initially when this art is being presented, a lot of fans thought this is a fake. They thought it's just they just cut and paste the head on slapstick onto Mama Dragon Isodet bodies, because initially they saw this spiky tail, the dragon tail that possessed lots of similarities with Mama Isodet, but well, it has been proven wrong to the fan. That is not a fan art or not a fake. There's a real thing. It kind of gives you the mix of dragons, and also the helmet, the thing on her headdress that it looks like a dragon. Or some fans also notice instead of the dragon aspects, this looks more like, if you guys have watched this horror space films, the tail and some of the design, the spikes, the scales looks more like this alien creature from the movie Aliens, taken from the appearance of this alien creature known as Xenomorph. But then again, what do we care? We care about Oppai and our favorite mama. So alright, some background. So alright, finally she's getting more attention. So Gaze Succubus, aka Fairy Crest 2.0. She is voiced by the voice actress Miss or Mrs. TERAI Saori. So the belows are some of the recent works she done in the recent years. So on the left is the characters from Attack on Titan season 3 characters. Terrauda Coffin, I'm not sure that pronounced right. To be honest, I don't have much memory there, or I can't really remember that much information about these characters. I guess I might have missed out. Guess I'm not a true fan. Then on the right, she voiced these characters from the game Cyberpunk 2077. Then some relationships with the characters. So apparently, I do notice there's quite some similarities with the characters. Instead of like the first LLR Ice Queen Imelda, who kind of came from a more stronger dominant parallel world, it seems that they are just from another parallel universe of the same origin, where they're all kind of like they are not like the superior version of themselves straight up like Ice Queen Imelda. So the following is some summary background of the character, so loosely translation, so if I'm wrong with some of translations, sorry about it. So here we go. Once, Fairycrest has been one of the heavenly demon knights serving the Dark Prince Bozo, making use of her shape-shifting abilities and appearance, causing fears to people. However, this once darkness being has betrayed her past, or she has left her past. Chaos can now no longer interfere with her will, nor can the glory of light stop her advancement or stop her footsteps. So that's the first paragraph. The second paragraph. When the wheel of fate has started to turn secretly at another time, this demoness silently depart from the east side defeated demon army. She has formed her own reign and hold on to her own fate, known as the Gaze Succubus or the Gaze Empress. So what if I can shapeshift into any being? Only getting hold of my own future is the utmost important. Okay, so it's kind of deep. Then last but not least, this phrase from her. Okay, so it's kind of weird. Just before we carry on, because this phrase apparently kind of translate based on the actual name is calling herself as the Gaze Empress, but this character itself is just called Gaze Succubus. I don't know why is this so. I think it's apparently it looks more or looks better if she's being called the Gaze Empress. Okay, last but not least, her phrase. I used to serve under the Prince of Darkness, but now I will be the world ruling Gaze Empress. So okay, that's a speech. And last but not least, this is chibi art by Granda Curry, Liana, of the characters. All I gotta say is very natural. And this chibi art is more clearer, so you guys can see the headdress. Of course, everyone has different perspective. Based on my perspective, the headdress kind of looks like the evil dragon with a lot of eyes on its head, on its the two front eyes, and there's also eyes beside it. It just reminds me of the Thousand-Eyed Dragons from the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D anime, one of the villain characters. Yep. So it's pretty cool. Then so some introductions about herself. Okay, this part. So the hidden evil eyes wave within. Oops, sorry. My bad. I gotta stop it. Within the evil eyes wave hides the deathly coldness. Has been piercing through the enemy's soul. Under the deathly gaze of the ghastly eyes, the fate of the world's souls will be controlled and judged by one's hand. And so again, I gotta apologize, this is a loose translation, but the one's hand is kind of referring by her hands, aka the gay succubus. So yeah, like I say, it's pretty cool actually, and it's great that Zilong's finally able to open up and even do more sexy art. Definitely hope for the best in future, because other games has been earning a lot more than, well, Langrisser. So I definitely hope for all the best of the futures for Langrissers, and of course more monies for them, better games for us. Alright, and before we go on to part 2, this is the character's phrase when you summon her. Here we go.
幽瞳の獲物の絶望と嘆き、それこそが最高の楽章よ。
Okay, wow, the translation. So the despair and cry from being hunted by the ghostly eyes is gonna be my most beautiful and happy chapter. So okay. Okay, let's hear it again before we move on, and here we go.
幽瞳の獲物の絶望と嘆き、それこそが最高の楽章よ。
So the despair and howling of cry by the prey of the ghastly eyes is gonna be my most beautiful and happy chapter. So that's it for part 1, and now we're going to part 2, and we have a lot of content because this character is gonna be the first characters to not have 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but more than that, special and unique exclusive skills. Are you guys ready? Here we go. Alright, we are back on part 2 featuring Mama, Fairy Quest, Faction, Skills, Talent, and 3C. So yep, she can take on any form you want, but I'm definitely gonna call her Mama Fairy Quest. Oh yeah, I mean look at the looks, give you that young, sexy Obasan, oh yeah. So alright, and that's it for Gaze Succubus. And overall her artwork is very nice. This time there's like more backgrounds for the characters because look at the size. Because of the tail and the body. With all the desolate mountains at the back. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, again, it's got to wait a slightly more extended background story of the LLR Gaze succubus. So is the army of darkness chaos demon general, a being who once caused turmoil on a country with her charming abilities as the charming demon princess. The peacock shrine Miko that dispel evil, all of these forms is her, but none of it includes her, or none of it is her. The being who once belongs to darkness has betrayed her past. Chaos can no longer control her will. The glory of light can no longer stop her footsteps. Nothing can bind her anymore. Only searching her own path with her own ghastly eyes. So again, this is loose translations, but some extra background expansions about these characters. And overall, looking at the great art that Zilong can do for all these darkness characters, I definitely hope we're gonna have one of my personal favorite will be Mama Listel. Yep, Mushu's mom, yes. So if she has a SP or LR version, I can imagine it's gonna be even sexier. Hopefully I'm right. So alright, the faction. So now we're back on the track. Okay, faction buff wise, she belongs to Darkness, Meteor, and Mythical. So great news. Currently it's 2 out of 3 faction buff with 3 CR out. So one is the Darkness faction with the entry of Enya's younger sister. Then for Mythical we have Isodet aka Mama Dragon. So with their entry, it's still not too bad. Then as for Meteor wise, the 3C is not out yet, but definitely a great team up with characters like Zeridas, able to give healing after turn end, so again not too bad. Oh sorry, yep, almost forget the name. The Darkness 3C faction buffer is the younger sister of Enya, is Slina, yep, the one I have problem pronouncing. Alright, and we're coming to her talent. Oh yeah, look at this icon. This is okay, you can look at it, is pretty cool. The eyes, the demon eyes on her chest, apparently on the talent showcase, it kind of expands, it opens wider. So this is amazed apparently that the characters in-game design do not have this feature where like when she breathes in or breathes out, the eyes can expand and close. It's gonna look even more enchanting and also bewitching, enchanting, and gonna be even cooler in my opinion. Alright, enough said. We're coming to the talent. Okay, it is translated as either bewitching or illusion. So watch to the end for the translations I have done for you guys on her talents, effects, skills, and 3C. Alright, the effect are as follow. Number 1, increase damage deal by 30%. Number 2, it's a global effect, affects allies and enemies alike. First, after any other units on the field with class advantages battle, if you had already end your turn, you can act again. Second, the effect happen once per turn. Number 3, when you end your turn, you can choose 2 units and swap their hero class around. Okay, this is known as class change. So this is first, choose 2 units and swap their hero around, class change. Second, this effect lasts for 3 turns and cannot be dispelled. Third, upon triggered, enter a CD of 1 turn before you can use again. Number 4, class change, where we will short form as CC in this case, or class swap, is treated as a buff. And after being attacked and receiving damage, reduce the turn count by 1. So these are her effects, short, sweet, and simple. However, when the game plays, you definitely need some time to understand some of the gimmick. So the class change effect retains mainly for original characters, but this time around it will also affect allies or enemy units that you can target. It does say, and you guys hear read correctly, it's a global effect. It says 全场其他, so other allies and enemies. So first off, she has damage increment of 30%, so this means she do not have attack buff. She definitely will be strengthened up after receiving faction buff or attacks buff. Then second is as long as after she enters and any units on the field has class advantages battle, if you already end your turn, you can act again. So what do they mean? Meaning once Gaze Succubus ends her turn, if your ally tanker unit is infantry, and enemy's cavalry units try to attack your allies or vice versa, this means in this scenario, this battle contains a class advantage attack, and this means she will be able to act again after the battle ends. So that's pretty cool. Then the third effect is when you enter, you can cause 2 units to swap their hero class around. So this can be targeted with allies or allies enemies or enemies. So any 2. So this gives you a very high chance to have great synergy with the second effect of allowing her to act again anytime. So you can just imagine if your ally cavalry unit is cavalry, then enemy's tanker is Lancer class. Then if you had an enemy on the field or your allies on the field is an infantry class, you can switch the infantry to the cavalry unit. So when the cavalry unit go up and charge against the enemy, this is treated as a cost advantage. This battle occurred and you'll be able to act again. So this is pretty cool. The only downside is that any units that has their class swap, the effect will last for 3 turns. It cannot be dispelled. However, after being attacked or receiving damage, the turn count will be reduced by 1. So you got to be careful and take note on when you try to spend these skills. And one last but not least, the great or not so good and bad is the class change effect is treated as a buff. Yes, you hear it right, it's a buff, it's not a debuff. So the good thing is this effect cannot be dispelled. The bad thing is if it's not a debuff, it may not have synergy with other heroes, like some characters, like example Seraphina. Seraphina's talent of doing the one turn kill effect is when enemies have 3 or 4 buff and above, then they can well die at the end of turn. So I guess this is to kind of nerf characters with such abilities. So right, she has 2 classes, Demon and Assassin. Okay, exclusive skill 1, it can be loosely translated as Tricksters or Sleight of Hand Disparate. Okay, the word disparate is taken from the Harry Potter story, I guess. Okay, it's a 1C skills, a CD of 3 turns, the range is 4 blocks, the AoE type is single target. It has both passive and active skills. Okay, going for the passive effect first. Number 1, after receiving death blow from non-class advantage attack, you will revive with 20% HP. Number 2, upon triggered, the skills will enter a CD of 5 turns before you can trigger this effect again. So what does it mean? So if Gaze Succubus is currently assassin class, then if there is no advantage in class from enemies to you or you towards the enemy, and if you die, you will survive a blow and be revived with 20% HP. And upon trigger, this effect will enter a CD of 5 turns before you can trigger again. So it's an infinity effect if there is infinity turns. But all you need to do is just wait 5 turns before you can trigger this effect again. Not too bad. The only downside is that, as it says, under the conditions, if it's a non-class advantage attack. So you gotta be careful. Okay, active skills. The effect are as follows. Number 1, after using these skills, teleport to the block closest to the target unit. Number 2, if the target hero's class is the same as you, the following effect will happen. First, swap positions with the target unit. This is treated as a position shift effect. Second, increase your attack and intelligence by 20% for 2 turns. Number 3, after using these skills, the buff you had will not be reduced and you can act again. Okay, we will finally doing part 3 on the pros and cons, but based on text itself, this 1C skills, it's a very strong act again that we have seen in such a long time, because number 1, it's you can use the skills and try to, well, the range is 4 blocks, so you can try to teleport as near to the heroes as possible. So, well, it's only a 4 block range, but if the enemy class is the same as you, you can swap position with the unit. So, but do take note, it's a position shift effect. So if the characters has immune to position shift effects, you can swap around. Then at the same time, it gives you the attack buff you need of 20%. So it's a mini faction buff for yourself. So not too bad. Then last but not least, after using these skills, the buff you had will not be reduced, and then you can act again. So her talent has given her an inbuilt act again effect, whereas this 1C skills give her another act again effect. And as written here, it says 可以再次行动. This means you can move again, everything. So that's pretty cool. You don't have any restrictions, like you can only attack again from your current locations. The fact that you can still move again and then attack, it's a great powerhouse for the characters. Okay, exclusive skills too. It can be translated as either bewitched, entranced, or fascinated. So it's 2C skills, has a CD of 3 turns. The range is global effect. Yep, global range, sorry. Global range, the AoE type is physical straight line AoE. Okay, again, it has both PS passive and passive effect and active, and the passive effect has PvP effect and PvE effect. So we'll be going through on the PvP first. Number one, so this time around is going to be pretty long because she has a lot of skills with, well, long list of explanation effects. Okay, PvP effect number one, when you end your turn, if the closest enemy in a straight line direction is the same class as you, the following will happen. First, the enemy will lose control. The enemy unit will lose control. This means that they will take auto actions. The players is not able to take control on their actions. Second, if any enemy's allies stand one block around them, the effect will be removed after the end turn. Last but not least, the effect lasts for 1 turn and cannot be dispelled. PvE number 2, when you end turn, if the closest enemy in a straight line direction is the same class as you, the following will happen. First, cause it to gain debuff, damage received increased by 30%. Second, if any enemy's allies stand one block around it, remove the effect after your end turn. The effect lasts for 1 turn and cannot be dispelled. So PvP wise, it's the player will not be able to control their own unit. It will just auto run themselves, and this means there's a high chance that any characters that lose control will be the last one to take actions. So this will kind of mess up enemy static. Then of course they try to make it not too overrated or too imba for this skills, is that if any of the enemy's allies stand one block beside it, the effect will be removed after it end turn. And last but not least, the effect only lasts for 1 turn, but it cannot be dispelled, so it's pretty cool. Then whereas the only difference is for PvE wise, instead of losing control, it becomes the damage they receive will be increased by 30%. So again, this is very cool. This effect, again, it assists you in your challenge event because it causes the boss characters or other allies to gain damage received by 30%. That's a lot. Again, I can think of a great combo you can go with Celica. You can just keep refreshing these skills with her alchemist skills. Okay, and active skills. Okay, actives are as follow. Number 1, attack all enemies in a straight line directions and deal 0.3 times AoE damage. Number 2, cause the damaged enemies to gain and become the same class type as you do for 3 turns. Number 3, the class change or class swap effect is treated as a buff, and after being attacked and receiving damage, reduce the turn count by 1. So, okay, this is the longest one of the longest straight line AoE skills because it's a global straight line range, and any enemy that you damage, they will become the same class as you do. Then last but not least, this is taken from the talent effect, is the class change or class swap is treated as a buff, and after being attacked or receiving damage, you reduce this buff turn count by 1 turn. So this has a great synergy with its own passive effect, because the passive effect says when you enter the closest enemies in a straight line direction is the same class as you, they will lose control. So straight up after you shoot this AoE beam effect, the first enemy in front will lose control. So that's pretty cool. Okay, exclusive skill tree. Okay, this is the one I'm talking about. Exclusive skill tree provides 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 types of skills for you. Okay, and it's slightly long, but hear me out. Okay, this is one of the most best exclusive skills. Definitely she's a character that you can use for a very long time based on well, I can't, based on my understanding, I guess I can't say for sure because the meta change every season. However, this exclusive skill trees provide a lot of playstyle for the characters. You can go for offensive, support, and survivabilities. So are you guys ready? Here we go. Exclusive skill tree known as the 1000-Face Ghostly Eyes, or well, you can also translate as Shadow Eyes, is a 2C skills with a CD of 3 turns. The range is null and AoE type is null. The effects are as follow. These skills will change according to the current class the heroine is currently in. Okay, so as you guys can check on the pictures, I'm gonna go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 6 types of skills, not 7. My bad. Okay. So the effect is follow first. So I will go according to the listed. So just a quick go through with you guys. The first line is infantry and lancer. Second is archer and assassin. Third is water units and holy unit. Fourth is flyer and cavalry. Fifth is mage and demon units. Sixth is dragon or other class not mentioned above. So okay, you guys definitely gotta check out the translation I have done for you guys because it's a lot. Okay, the effect as follow. Okay, this skill will change according to the current class the heroine is currently in. Number 1, when each unit's on the field with class advantage battle, the CD of these skills will be reduced by 1. Okay, class change abilities. Number 2, infantry or lancer unit will gain these skills. When you cast these skills will become soul absorption. The range is 1. The AoE type is physical single target. The effects are as follow. First, attack and deal 1.5 times damage to target enemy. Second, this battle ignore close combat penalty. Third, dispel 3 buff from the target. Fourth, disable target passive effect for 2 turns and this effect cannot be dispelled. Okay, so this is for soul absorption. Number 3, archer and assassin class will gain swift and fierce. Okay, this is a 1. The range is 2 blocks. The AoE type is physical single target attack. Okay, the effect as follow. First, attack ignores guard. Second, deals 1.4 times damage to target enemy. Third, increase crit rate by 30%. Fourth, when you are at defensive terrain, increase this skill's range by +2. Fourth, after battle, you can move 2 blocks again. Okay, the third one, Water and Holy class. The skills is known as Returning Soul. The range is 3 blocks. The AoE type is Physical 3 blocks Support. So these are support skills. The effect are as follow. First, heal allies in range based on the caster attack times 5. Second, dispel 2 debuff from heal units. Third, heal allies will gain the buff increase damage by 15% for 2 turns. Oops. Okay, fourth, for Fire and Cavalry class is known as Dazzling. The range is Self. The AoE type is 3 blocks. AoE type is 3 blocks support. It has both passive and active skills. The passive effect are as follow. First, unit mobility, ignore terrain limitations. Second, increase mobility by +2 for the hero. Active skills, okay, increase all allies in range for 2 turns for the following effect. First, all cast unit in range will gain mobility +2. Second, increase attack and intelligence by 20%. Third, they will be immune to mobility down and disable passive effect. So mobility down is leg breaking icon effect. So, and also they were immune to disable passive effect. Okay, fifth, for the mage and demon class, the effect is known as Abyss. The range itself, the AoE type is Physical 3 blocks. The effects are as follow. First, increase crit rate by 50%. Second, deal 0.36 times AoE damage to enemies 3 blocks around you. Third, apply 2 random debuff to damage enemies. Fourth, this skill has special effects towards enemy with the same class as you do. Okay. 6, last but not least, Dragon class or other class not stated above, known as Body Devourer. The range is 2 blocks. The AoE type is Physical single target skills. The effects are as follow. First, attack and deal 1.8 times damage to target enemy. Second, have special effects towards enemies with class difference from you. Third, you will attack first in this battle. Fourth, after the battle, heal 30% of the damage dealt to the enemy. Fifth, remove your talent CD after battling using these skills. And that's all the 6 class effect of this unique skill. So we're gonna have a quick go through of the effects again. So for the first one, it's Infantry and Lancer class, Soul Absorption. So it's a strong, it's like the lesser version of Sword Soul. Only 1.5 times damage. Then the battle, ignore close combat penalty because she's a ranged character. That's pretty cool. Then you'll dispel 3 buff from the target, and not to mention you disable the enemy's passive effect for 2 turns, and this effect cannot be dispelled. So this is pretty cool. Okay, second, for Swift and Fierce, it's assassin skill. So the attack ignores guard and is dealing 1.4 times damage. It's higher than your normal assassin's skills attack. And not to mention, you have crit rate increment of 30% and if you're at defensive terrain, you can increase this skill cast range by +2. So instead of 2 blocks, it becomes 4 blocks. And after battle, you can move 2 blocks again. So you can move back to your tanker's range to shield yourself from attack. And fourth is returning soul. So this is a support healing skill. So you can heal allies in range based on Gaze succubus attack times 5, and then heal ally will have 2 dispel, 2 debuff being dispelled off. And not to mention, this is like a miracle, like a now this is basically like a higher tier type of miracle effect, because the heal ally will gain the buff, increase damage deal by 15% for 2 turns. So kind of gain the TRA's miracle. That's pretty cool. Then we have dazzling. This skill again is a support 3 blocks, so again it has a double effect passive. Ferocruz will basically, her movement is no longer limited by terrain limitations except for sky terrain. Then she also have a +2 mobility add on to her characters. Then the active skills is a support to get all allies in range to gain +2 mobility for 2 turns, and also have attack and intelligence increment by 20%. Then also in return, letting them gain immune to mobility down and disable passive abilities. So this is a great support towards the ally. That's pretty cool. Then we have a beast. This is the, I'm gonna call it the evil character, the villain type of heaven judgment or heaven punishment effect, because if this AoE skills has a crit rate of 50% increment. So this is definitely like Cheffernell's and Lana's heaven punishment AoE skills, and it deals 0.36 times to 3 blocks around you. The only downside is the range is kind of low, but damaged enemies will gain 2 random debuff, and it will have special effects against enemies with the same class as you. But as for what kind of special effect is not directly mentioned here. Perhaps we will find out more during the pros and cons. Then last but not least, the strongest of her single attack skills is when she's either dragon or class not stated above, kind of like god class or the boss class. So you gain body devour. So the skill damage is 1.8 times. This is the second or third highest damage for single target attack as of the current meta. Then it again have special effects towards enemy with different class from you, and you can get to attack first in this battle, and after attacking you get to heal HP. And last but not least, the best thing is it removes your talent CD after using this skill, so it just refresh your talent's effect of able to act again if this triggers. So for PvP wise, this can only triggers if there is dragon class on the field. Other than that, you will not be able to get these skills easily. So yep, that's all. And last but not least, we're going to the 3C. So wow, it's pretty long, but she has all this support, healing, damage, single target, AoE, all in one talent, and you can just easily trigger this by changing her class using a talent. So that's pretty cool. Okay, 3C is translated as Soul Devouring Gaze. Has a CD of 3 turns. The range is 2. The AoE type is physical single target. It is considered as both command aura effect and active skill. So it's not a passive skill, it's a command aura and active. I'm not sure if command aura is considered a passive skill. It's not written as passive, it's just written as command aura. So hopefully these skills cannot be disabled. Okay, the effect for command aura are as follows. Number 1, increase class advantage effect by 10% for allies on the field. Second, when you battle enemy consists of mixed units, you can ignore gut. Oh my god, this is definitely insane. Number one is still not too bad. Increased class advantage effect by 10%. I guess it's the benefit. So like demon against holy unit against demon is 80%, so you gain another 10% increment. I'm not sure it's a fixed rate. If it's a fixed rate, it's going to be like 90%. If it's not, it's just going to be 88%. But nonetheless, well, damage increment not too bad. But the best is the second. When Gaze succubus battle an enemy consists of mixed units, the attack can ignore gut. So mixed units, we are talking about the hero is Lancer class, but the soldiers they bring are different from their own class. That is considered a mixed unit, which is a very common thing in PvP battle. So I mean, there is like you can almost ignore gut, and even if you don't, you can just forcefully change the hero's class to something that is different from their soldiers unit. So this effect will still trigger. That's pretty cool. Okay, active skills. The active effects are as follow. Number one, attack and deal 1.8 times damage to target enemy. Number two, before battle, you will convert 3 buff from the target unit to debuff effects. Number three, if you have class advantage to the target enemy in this battle, the target enemy cannot trigger revive effect or surviving death blow effect. Do you know that this third effect only happen in PvP only? So causing enemy not to be able to trigger revive or surviving death blow effect only happen in PvP. So overall it's not too bad. There's like apotheosis, aka the chaos or god hand 3C effect, 1.8 times damage to enemies. Then before the battle, convert 3 buff to debuff from the target unit. So not too bad. Overall, I'm gonna say exclusive skill 3 is like the MVP skills. And not to mention, this skill's CD is very quick. The CD effect is only 3 turns, and the first line I already said, when units on the field with class advantage battle, the CD of the skills will be reduced by 1. So if you have 3 other unit with class advantage battle, you automatically refresh this skill CD, and the next turn you can spend it again. And not to mention, this happens either enemies or your allies. So as long as class advantage happens in a battle, the CD reduction triggers and you can spam this skill. So that's pretty cool. A great assist, a great attacking, offensive, assistance, support, skills, healing for yourself and allies. So that's pretty cool. And that's it for Gaze succubus, skills, talent, and effect. And now we're going to part 3, where we'll be talking about the pros and cons of the characters. Are you guys ready? Here we go. So alright, we are at the last part of the videos, and we'll be talking about the pros, cons, and how the gimmick of the characters, talents, and effects works. So before we carry on, a very great thanks to information shared and provided by the Langrisser Data Bank, aka 梦战资料库. So, alright, are you guys ready? Here we go. So again, watch to the end for the translation I've done for you guys for all the skills, effects, and how it works. And of course, first thing you guys are going to be interested is the bond unlocking conditions. Does she need other characters? The answer is, well, you guys love it, is no. For the defense and attack bond, all you need to do is unlock both her assassin and demon class, and you're good to go. Okay, this is the runes emblem or casting materials that you need for her. And this is the stats for her class. So the demon class enjoys greater HP and defense but lesser skills, whereas the assassin will enjoy lower overall stats but higher skills by 20. That's all. So the best way to go is definitely for the demon class. And alright, the heartburn effect. So the demon class is loosely translated as heart bewitching or heart charmers. Then the assassin is ghostly gaze assassin. Okay, heartborn. So for the demon class, level 4 and level 7. So level 4 for the demon class, when you initiate attack and go into battle, damage received by units reduced by 10%. Level 7, when battling with units with debuff effects, damage increased by 10%. Assassin class, level 4 and level 7. Level 4, when receiving attack and going to battle with units with debuff effects, reduce damage taken by 10%. Level 7, when unit HP is at 100%, increase damage deal by 10%. Okay, just a quick mention for PvP. If you're trying to go for rush play, demon class is better because you can spam the exclusive skills to the AoE straight line effect and damage enemy and cause them to lose control fast. However, if you're trying to play more of a single target and surviving play, you will go for the assassin route because you'll be bringing the curse type bell, the new accessory items, where after attacking enemies you can get to teleport back to allies closest to you, or your location at the start. I can't really remember the effect, but this item is for survivability, so and can only be equipped by assassin class. So yeah, definitely not demon class. All right. So I'll only be going through some of the important and confirmed informations. They do mention about item builds, effects about the class advantage effect, but those are considered like fake class advantage effect. So it's kind of hard to explain, so I'm gonna skip a little. Okay, as mentioned here, so the class change effect is considered a buff, and when being attacked and receiving damage, this class change effect will reduce by 1 turn. Then the downside of this skills is this is treated as a buff, so it will be affected by debuff effect that stops you from gaining buff. And the other thing is for PvE content, or for PvE players only, characters like boss and the god are immune to the class swap or class change. However, you cannot change the class for the boss. However, based on the following pictures, you can still allow your ally or yourself to gain the boss class, but the boss will not allow, based on the game gimmick, the boss themselves will not be allowed to have the class change, the usual effect. And this is a list of skills she had. Of course, we'll find out more again during the actual gameplay. The 3C, AoE Bewitch straight line, then exclusive skill 3, Thousand Face Ghostly Eyes, the one that you can switch skills. And we have this Tricksters, the third effect, Tricksters, the one that allows you to act again. Then the rest is Assassin skills, and I also said slight disappointment. There is this original unique skills that belongs to the original Ferocrus, the one that causes you to position swap with the enemies. She does not have that. Just feel that they should have bring that to her. That's like her original skills. Okay, how the 3C effect work. So Devouring Gaze, this is a common aura effect. So okay, so it provides additional class advantage, special effect, 10% increment effects. Then when battling with mixed units, ignore guard. Then non-revive effect only happens in PvP. Okay, however, the 3C has this effect of turning 3 buff to 3 debuff effect. Apparently there is some uniqueness and in terms of priority for this effect. The 3C skills debuff have priority in silence, aka disabling active skills. Second, cannot be healed as priority. And these are the following debuff effect that you can gain. So oh, I'm sorry, my bad. That's not the actual meaning. My bad. I apologize. I'm gonna re-say it again. So the 3C skills conversion debuff effect will be consisting of quality debuff effect like silent, unable to heal, and other effects you can see here. So like enter, the number one is when you enter, you take 30% fixed damage on your max HP. Second is -3 on your mobility and not able to guard. Third is unable to receive buff effect. Fourth, unable to use active skills. Fifth, unable to receive healing. Sixth, disable passive effect. So these are like the greater priority, and these are the only debuff you get, which is kind of fixed and good, because if you're trying to jam or mess up the enemy's play, I think like damage reduction or increasing damage they taken, or some defense down might mess up the momentum. However, if you're allowed to give all this fix like leg breaking -3, or unable to receive buff, or not able to, or just being silent, that's like going to be a great help to your team. Or not able to heal. Not able to heal is a great death blow against characters like Papa Vargas. Once it's not able to heal, he's not that great of a threat. Okay, then exclusive skills 2, Bewitch. The AoE skills. It's a straight line effect, so you can only target up, down, left, right, and the closest enemies towards the direction she casts the skills will be affected. And if the enemy's class is the same as you, they'll lose control. Or for PvP, for PvE wise is damage received by 30%. This will affect boss characters too. So okay, based on the directions as seen in the pictures below, so this is how you will classify who is going to be affected: up, down, left, right, based on the positions enemy stands. So you will see on the bottom left, Papa Vargas will not be affected because it's a straight line directions beam. Then about resolving the lose control effect, it's the enemy's ally need to stand one block beside them when they enter. Then this effect will be removed. Then the other one is losing control effect cannot be dispelled, but it can be immune or prevented, and can be immune by characters like Elma's reflective holy light of mirrors, or Imelda's SP Imelda's skills, the strong heart reflect, so as you can see here. So characters with the mirror reflections can reflect the effect back to the enemies, so you can prevent these skills from happening to yourself. And exclusive skill 1 is just the revive and act again, nothing much, so we'll be skipping this. Third is exclusive skill 3, thousand phase ghostly eyes or shadow's eyes effect that allows you to choose different types of skills to use. So this is an icon, and soul absorptions. Okay, but they're using repeated O icon, skills icon. Then, so the first one is, as you guys can see from the class. Then second is Swift and Fierce. And third is Returning Soul, and it's a healing support skills. So with pictures icon, it's easier for you guys to understand which is which. Okay, fourth is Flyer Cavalry, Dazzling. So the mini faction buff and mobility increment skills. Then the AoE for Mage and Demon class Abyss. Last but not least, Dragon or other special class. It is actually written as Dragons or other special class, but to make it easier for you guys, is Dragon or other class not mentioned above. One class I believe they missed it out is the God class. So this skill is Abyss, like the God Covenant class. They do not have the boss icon. They have that like triple triangle logo. So alright, we have almost come to the end, but before that is overall, Mama Fairy Quest, aka the Gaze Succubus or Gaze Empress, is very unique in terms of her ability, because she can be very flexible in terms of class change and able to choose different type of skills, whether you want to go offensive, defensive, support, or being a healer for your team. You can choose with that, so that's pretty cool. And okay, last but not least, if you guys saw the opening clip, there is one that where she's hugging a crying Mew based on the event story, and this kind of make you feel the motherly love from the character, and that's why I have been calling her Mama Fairy Quest. And okay, we've come to the end. Last but not least is the characters item build, and you can see these are the ranking or ratings for the characters in both PvE and PvP. They are 5 stars. So on the left is the item build for PvE, and on the right is PvP. So for PvE, and as you can see, this is the actual and real characters design for the characters. So this is how she looks like. Yes, I'm kid you not, this is not a joke. This is the actual characters design. Oh my god. And for PvE, you can go with Blazing Sun for high crit rate. Then for PvP wise, you can go with Breeze, Magic, or even Clock. And okay, I will not go with item builds one by one. You guys can check from the icon. So pretty flexible and pretty strong and pretty cool. Definitely must summon for her. This is definitely a must summon, and she's definitely a great counters again the previous strongest LLR Papa Vargas, and also other coming heroes to come in futures, I suppose. And I want to mention she enjoyed 2 of the latest SP Soldiers unit, which we'll be going through on the actual demo play. And this, we have come to the end. This is Kami. Thank you for watching the video, and if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe. We'll see you guys on the demo play. Goodbye and enjoy Mama Fairy Quest. Goodbye.